giving me this chance to be here and to speak something from my heart. How I look at this sugar industry, how it is going to behave in future, what should be the business model, the vision plan for the sugar industry, the Indian sugar industry. It's difficult to speak once Mr. R.L. Tamak has given the presentation because he has already taken all the things from what I had in my speech. So things are pretty smoother and easier for me because he has already covered probably all the dimensions which are related with the Indian sugar industry. But nevertheless, there are few issues which have been flagged by the President Sista and Mr. Tamak also. Not going to stress upon what already he has spoken about the quality, importance of the quality, productivity, and all that. But as a man who has got a background of economics too, I know how important is the quality of the raw material for any industry. What to talk about the sugar industry? Because the first lesson in economics is how you run the industry and what you need for the industry. You need raw material of good quality in abundance, which is at the affordable prices. Only then you can have a competitive and sustainable industry. So this is what we are talking about the sugar industry, and for the sugar industry, our raw material is sugarcane. Because one thing you just see, because we are going to discuss so many things, eminent experts are here and they are going to discuss a lot on the way forward. But one thing for sure, for the same plant capacities, same process efficiencies, product qualities, rates of the sugars, other revenues, what matters? Matters is the quality of the raw material. If you can get higher sugar or higher output per unit quantity of the raw material, you are going to be benefited and you are going to earn higher profits. We are into an era where we are talking about the welfare of the farmers also. The government is talking about doubling the farmers' income, and we are talking about the sustainability of the Indian sugar industry. And minded farmers, the sugarcane farmers and the sugar industry are the two sides of the same coin. If your health is good, the health of the farmer is also good. Because you are going to get the payments, you are going to make the payments, and the farmers are going to be benefited. So we should look into the change scenario also. Varietal development is one thing where we are going to talk about. About the requirement of the sugarcane. Because the scenario has changed a lot over the last couple of years because of the policies of the government of India, because of the policies of the various state governments. And we are in a process to convert the sugar industry not as an industry which is producing sugar only. We are trying to convert the Indian sugar industry or sugar factories as biorefineries where we can have the biofood, we can have the biofuel, we can have the biochemical, and because your sugarcane contains 70% of the water, after meeting our own requirements, we can give some surplus water to the society, which in the form of the bio water. So this is, the concept which is being talked about. We are having brainstorming on that. And in various sugar producing countries across the globe, now we are talking about as a hub for biofood, biofuel, bioenergy, and biowater. So this concept, not today but tomorrow, is to be implemented. Only then we can see a vibrant and sustainable Indian sugar industry. Now we need sugarcane for all those purposes. Our area under sugarcane cultivation is limited because of the demographic pressures. We may be having somewhere around 5 million hectares, plus minus 5% this way or that way. So we have to have the vertical growth, and we have to look into how we can have more sugar per hectare, or how we can have more revenues per hectare. So that should be the vision, and then again sugarcane quality comes into the picture. Unfortunately, there are differences. If we look into the states, various sugar producing states. You can compare now UP with Maharashtra, you can compare UP with Karnataka, but then you have to look into what UP, Maharashtra, Karnataka are doing, what is happening with the Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Bihar, Chhattisgarh and MP. So there is a disparity in terms of the productivity, the recoveries of the sugar between the states and within the states also. I'm not trying to compare the productivities of India with other sugar producing entities across the globe. I am not talking about Brazil, I am not talking about Thailand, I am not talking about Australia, not USA, where the productivities or the sugar content is higher. I am trying to compare the productivities of the sugar producing states and then, unfortunately, within the states also. Professor Mr. Tamak has already spoken. If you look into the productivities even in UP, Western UP versus Eastern UP, Northern Karnataka versus Southern Karnataka. So we can have many examples for that. So how to bridge that? How to have a uniform productivity or a productivity which is not varying to a very large extent? Because we need, again, I reiterate, we need sugarcane, and we need sugarcane for making the ethanol blending program a success. The ethanol blending program can be made success only when we have adequate quantities of the sugarcane, because after coping your own requirement for the sugar, you have to divert the additional quantities of the sugar. We talk about 20% of the blending, 20% of the blending, achieving it by 2025. As per the latest, the figures which have been made available to us, this year we have, up till now, we have gone and we have achieved a blending to the extent of 9.8%. So by all my stretch of imagination, we are going to achieve the blending target of 10% this year. But achieving 20% of the blending, previously we were targeting at 1016 crore liters of the ethanol for 20% of the blending, but as per the revised estimates which have been given to us, now we are aspiring for having 1350 crore liters of the ethanol for making it success. Now from where this much quantity of the ethanol will come? Because again you will talk about ethanol to be the savior of the sugar industry. Ethanol prices will be always comfortable. You will be comfortable with the ethanol prices because the government has given you a sort of indirect subsidy. Because sugar prices will be volatile, where there will be internal factors, there will be external factors. So you have to look into value additions and how from other sources you can generate the income. If we look into 20% blending of the ethanol into petrol, as I said, we need 1350 crore liters of the ethanol, and as per the projections, 55% of the ethanol should come from the sugar industry, meaning thereby that we have to have around 750 crore liters of the ethanol from the sugar industry. Again, meaning thereby that we have to divert additionally 75 lakh tons of the sugar to make it success. So you have to look into the quantities of the sugarcane which are required, and again the quality of the sugarcane which you are supposed to have to make the total business model a success. There comes the the role of the sugarcane variety, and not only the variety, because today we are talking a lot on CO0238, a wonder variety, and which has transformed the sugar industry in the northern India, particularly in the state of Uttar Pradesh. But few things more happened with that particular variety. Today we are talking about the club of 12% recovery or 11.5% recovery. As a whole, UP is having a recovery which is comparable with the recovery of Maharashtra, Kolhapur region, or with the recovery of Karnataka. But two more things, Mr. Tamak has already spoken about the success of the Meetha Sona program. Care at the field and care of the field. You have done some good work through the variety, through various intercultural operations and all that. But what you are doing with the sugarcane once it is harvested, the cut to crush delay, the role of information technology, IT interventions, clean, that has yielded the result. I should, if I put it like how we improved in the state of Uttar Pradesh, role of the variety, harvesting schedules, cut to crush delay, and the extraneous matter, the clean cane. And fourth, which cannot be ruled out, and because of that, our sugar technologists also should get some applaud about the reduction in the losses of the sugar. I just go back by around 80 years. Do you know what type of recovery we were getting when the country got independence? We were producing only 10 lakh tons of the sugar. We were having 130 sugar factories, small sugar factories. Most of the sugar requirement was met through imports. Today we are in a position where we are a structured surplus, and we are talking about how to handle this much quantity of the sugar and to divert more quantity of the sugar. At that point of time in 1945, 46, 47, we used to have a sugar recovery of 10%. The losses were around 3 or 3.5. If you add both, that becomes 13 or 13.5%. Today you are having a sugar recovery, average sugar recovery of around 11 or 11.2%, and the losses are to the extent of 2% only. Again, it becomes 13.2 or 13.5%, meaning thereby there is no change in the pole percent gain. And we are talking about taking the things forward. So where we have lost, losses have come down from 3.5% to 1.6 or 1.8 or 2%. So we are losing somewhere at the fields where we have to improve upon. As I heard, we used to have a very small sugar factory, and 100% of the sugar cane was the gate cane. The fresh cane used to come to the sugar factory before it was dumped or it was touching the ground and all that. So the fresh cane was coming, clean cane was coming, and we were having very good recoveries of the sugar. So we have to look into all these aspects, and only then this may be the way to grow. So we need a holistic approach all over. As he was talking about, we need good varieties, good IT interventions, good digitalization also, because pre-harvest sugarcane maturity survey that was introduced in late 60s. Unfortunately, it is not being implemented because of various reasons. We do have a federal form of the government where the state governments do have their own way to do the things. So there are challenges, because if you talk about northern India, you are having the center cane, you are having the gate cane. So, enormous challenges are there, but you have to go in for some digital harvest and all that. Two more issues which were flagged by previous speakers were about the percentage of deduction for the extraneous matter, because once you are going for the mechanical harvesting or the manual harvesting, in the case of the manual harvesting, we are having lower extraneous matter to the extent of 1% and 2%, and as per the Sugarcane Control Act 1966, we are allowing 1% only. This matter is in the knowledge of all the policymakers, even with the Niti Aayog. And a committee was constituted to look into this particular issue, and I am a member of that committee. So we have flagged this issue because once you are having the mechanical harvesting of the sugarcane, you are bound to have a higher extraneous matter to the extent of 8 to 10%. During the meeting, we have suggested that an independent committee should be formed by the Niti Aayog, and we can assess and we can recommend to the government of India the extent of extraneous matter which can be allowed in case of the mechanical harvesting. The second, the issue was price of the ethanol for the cane juice. Yes, few things happened for the first time in India. Mind you, this is the only country, perhaps to the best of my understanding and my knowledge, where we do have the differential pricing policy of the ethanol. For the same product, you are getting the different prices. 63 rupees 45 paisa for cane juice ethanol, 59 rupees not 2 paisa for the B heavy based ethanol, and then for the C heavy ethanol. Continuously, we are brainstorming on this issue, how to take this ethanol blending program forward, how to meet the challenges, how to overcome the challenges, and how to make 20% blending program a success. From the last 1 week or so, again, we are continuously brainstorming on whether we need a revision in the prices, or what challenges are there, and how we can have more ethanol, because we have already achieved 9.8% and we have to touch 10%. Diversion of the juice, the people have visited it, Brazil also. Many of you might have gone to Brazil to see their success story. We are not diverting any juice and we are diverting syrup. I should be very honest saying that almost none of us was having any experience how this syrup, when diverted, will behave during the fermentation process. Once we diverted the syrup for making ethanol, many challenges were encountered. Maybe at the fermentation stage, maybe at the the spent wash handling stage, maybe the requirement of the additional fuel. So all these things are in the mind of the people, and we are looking into how we can give you a better price, looking to the higher cost of production. So I think hopefully we are going to have, a very clear-cut approach, and the government of India is very keen and very helpful, very proactive also to address your issues and to come out with various policies. You might have seen that that fertilizer control order also that was amended, and we have given certain amount of the subsidy over the potassium fertilizer. So the same way we are going to come out with more, policy interventions in times to come to see that industry flourishes, becomes sustainable, and at the end of the day, the farmers' interests are also protected. But yes, you have to come forward. You cannot be complacent, as I always talk about. You have to be proactive. You have to join hands with the research institutes, with other organizations, and you cannot work in very watertight compartments. You have to go with the value additions, integrations, and diverse portfolio. Not talking about the sugar. Sugar, what kind of the sugar? Only white sugar, double sulfitation? No. Forgive me, I'm not interested in any, double sulfitation or plantation white sugar. You have to go for the raw refined route, specialty sugars, pharma sugars, icing sugar, liquid sugar. You can have, number of products in your shelves. Again, the bioenergy, bio-CNG, compressed biogas, bioethanol. You may be having challenges in the bagasse-based cogeneration, but we have to face the challenges and we have to overcome the challenges as well. Many more biochemicals, many more, the bagasse we are talking about, and now the units are also coming up for the particle boards, for the eco-ware crockery, or for the nanomaterials, or for many more biochemicals. So this way, I know the quality of the sugarcane is very important, because this is the first thing which is going to address and which is going to impact your productivity and your profitability. But you have to look into that. You are into a sugar industry, which is not a industry making sugar only, but making different, products which are value added products, and converting co-products into value added products, converting your waste to wealth. So this is all which I wanted to convey, because many speakers to follow. I am just trying to give a gist of what was there at the back of my mind. Just wanted to convey you the things. Government is very keen, proactive to see that sugar industry flourishes. It is your time to come forward, to convey your message, and to adopt different technologies for taking this industry forward. Again, you can learn by experience. Once we interact, you have written you have just heard the success story of DCM Shriram. Many more stories are there which we can share, and we can develop, and we can learn a lot. So I once again thanks Sista for giving me this chance to share my views. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for delivering the chief guest address. Now we request Shri Harmander Singh, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Commissioner of Sugars, Government of Tamil Nadu, to deliver the special address, please.